The good news is, though, there are credible eco-labels out there, and they can make your job in purchasing green products a whole lot easier. They can streamline the process. You can put them in your bid specifications and just say, hey, we're going out to bid for this product category. We're looking for products that meet this standard. And so you don't actually have to spec all the environmental criteria that go into this product category. Other people have done it for you, and you can use that as a standard to identify green products. So I'm going to be talking about how to understand these green eco-labels that are out there and how to utilize them. So there's a few different types, and they're on a spectrum of green to greenest. You'll start off with green product rating systems, and I'm going to talk about examples from these more throughout my presentation today. And so these are products that are an involuntary system, they self-report, and they meet some type of standard. There are single product certifications or claims that can be verified. And these are very useful because they have a certification and audit element to them, but they're looking at one part of the picture. So this could be a product made with renewable energy or recycled content. And the greenest example of an eco-label is a multi-attribute green label or multiple green criteria. So this product is green for many reasons. It has reduced or eliminated toxic elements in that product. It's made with renewable energy. Maybe it has recycled content. It could be made locally. So there's a whole host of issues that they're looking at. And then one direction that I would say probably goes beyond the spectrum right now, because we're still, the environmental eco-label community is moving this direction, is environmental product disclosures, where much like you look at your cereal box and look at the calorie count or sugar count on a product, they'll have the impact report. So this will be the transportation impact, the manufacturing impact in terms of climate emissions and other types of products. And this is something that ULE is moving in this direction, and that's what the future holds in terms of eco-labels. So more transparent, more information for consumers. And so we're going to play a little game just to get started off here, and then I'm going to go into all of these in more detail. But does anybody recognize this one over here? This label, and maybe want to take a guess at what it means? This is the US Green Building Council, and they obviously look at buildings. This is Energy Star. This is the most widely recognized eco-label according to our reports. And this looks at a few things: computers, electronics, buildings too, actually. You can have an Energy Star rated building. And the US Green Building Council, which runs the LEED program, which you might be familiar with, utilizes Energy Star as well. And other appliances, other electronic appliances. FSC is the Forest Stewardship Council. They look at paper and wood. Fair Trade are both of these. These are two different versions of the Fair Trade logo, all both looking at food. This is the Marine Stewardship Council logo, looking at sustainable fisheries. Green E, down here at the bottom, looking at renewable energy and also renewable energy certificates. USD Organic is another food one. That's another widely recognized eco-label. Eco logo comes to us from Canada and is now actually part of ULE. They were acquired by ULE. And they're one of those multi-attribute certifications. They look at a whole bunch of product categories: cleaners, paint, remanufactured toner cartridges, paper. And Green Seal is another one that looks at a lot: paint, food, cleaners, paper and wood. Just a whole bunch of categories. So I'm going to be going into more of these individually. So here are the multi-attribute certifications. So we're going to start with the best. So these are certifications that, again, look at a whole host of environmental criteria. And so I've included a few examples here. So here's the Eco Logo program, again, part of United Laboratories. And then there's Green Seal, Fair Trade, Forest Stewardship Council. Just to give an example of what a multi-attribute certification means in real life, FSC looks at a wide range of recycled content issues, forest issues, and several different green criteria to make that a multi-attribute certification. And EcoLogo as well will look at lower toxicity, emissions from products, packaging issues, a range of issues that go into this. So if you're looking to buy a product that doesn't have a multi-attribute certification, there are also single attribute certifications, which are next best when you're going out to bid on green products. And so here I've included a few examples. GreenGuard looks at indoor air quality. And so that's what they look at. A lot of products that are used in schools and things like that, sealants, and things that would emit VOCs, or volatile, hazardous things for indoor air quality. A few more here are BPI certified, which looks at compostable products. Organic, Green E, like I mentioned before, for renewable energy. WaterSense looks at water efficiency criteria for products. This carbon-free label will look at products that have reduced and eventually completely offset the carbon impact of their products. So the main point here is that each of these certifications will verify that one criteria has been met. And so this is a good thing to look for when your product doesn't have a multi-attribute certification, is to make sure at least that one issue is thoroughly checked and vetted. And so when when you're going out to buy a product that doesn't have a single attribute or a multi-attribute, there are also something called green product rating systems. They're a little different than certifications in that you're not going to have as strong as an audit component of it. There may not be an actual certification here. They're voluntary, and they submit the information without that component of it, but they're still useful. And here's Energy Star, which is a joint program run by the Department of Energy and the EPA. And they're actually moving more in a certification direction. So we haven't actually moved them more into the certification category, but there's still a voluntary rating system. EPEAT, has anyone here heard of EPEAT? This is a label, oh, we got a hand up in the back. EPEAT is, again, a relatively new one, a comprehensive one that looks at green electronics. It stands for the Electronic Product Environmental Assessment Tool. Really been growing in the past several years, looking at a whole host of issues when it comes to greener electronics. And then the last one here is EPA's Design for the Environment program, mainly with toxic elements like cleaners and other things like that. And so most of the eco-labels that I talked about so far are binary eco-labels. There is some minimum standard, and if your product meets that standard, you either get the seal of approval or you don't. It's a yes or no equation, but there are also tiered eco-labels. So much like the Olympics here, EPEAT has a bronze, silver, and gold. So these set a minimum threshold for each level. And what's nice about tiered eco-labels is that you can choose which level you want to buy. You want to maybe buy EPEAT silver computers and then maybe move your department over to buy EPEAT gold computers in the future. It lets you create your minimum threshold and then maybe improve over the future. And for manufacturers, it's useful too because they can do the same thing. They can start off with bronze and then move their way up. And then the U.S. Green Building Council is another example. With their LEED program, you can have all the way from registered all the way to platinum, which is very green buildings. And this really encourages a race to the top among manufacturers and buyers. And so I have some best practices for using eco-labels when you're day-to-day purchasing. One thing to do is to specify green services. So if you're not actually buying a product, you're going out to bid for someone that's providing your county or your city a service, you can ask them to be certified with a green service. So I've included an example here from IPM, which is Integrated Pest Management Services, which use they cover a whole range of issues in not using pesticides and insecticides, and safer pesticides and insecticides, rather. And here are a couple examples. EcoWise and Green Shield are a few. There's also a Bay-friendly landscaping. Has anyone heard of that? Great, yeah, more nods on that one. So you can require your service providers to comply with independent green standards as well. And here's a little picture of the Bay-friendly logo. There are also green business certification programs. So if you want to encourage green businesses in your area, there's a whole host in the Bay Area. I've included some from California and nationally as well. This one's from Portland, California. There's the Bay Area one here. This one's from Montgomery County on the East Coast. There's also a certified B Corps, which is a national program. And so if you're this is another way to encourage environmental stewardship in the products that you're buying, is to actually get the business to be a certified green business as well. And so I do want to touch on LEED for a quick second. Another strategy you can use when you're going out to buy green products is to ask or give extra points in your bid specifications for companies that operate out of green buildings. And so LEED is a program that was started by the U.S. Green Building Council. The certification is now run by the Green Building Certification Institute. So if you see this logo, this means that it is certifying a building, not a product. You won't ever see it on a product. But this is a useful strategy in encouraging green buildings. Again, is to encourage your vendors or give extra points to your vendors to operate out of green buildings. Oh, and the LEED system itself, the different rating systems, utilize many of the eco-labels that I just talked about. So in the green building system for indoor air quality, they look at Green Seal, Floor Score, a whole bunch of eco-labels to ensure credibility with their label as well. So how to use eco-labels effectively? I've included here an example from the policy of the city of Portland. And so in their policy, they just go outright and say, when we're going out to bid, we're going to use eco-labels. They want to use eco-labels that were developed in an impartial third party, in a public, transparent way, and they respect the labels that are leaders in this space. And another way to utilize eco-labels successfully, other than just putting them right in your bid specifications, is to look for claims to be verified. So if you're going out to bid on a product that may not have an eco-label, but it says that it's 50% recycled content or 100% recycled content, you don't want to just take their word for it. You want it to actually be verified. So we've included a few independent labs here. This one is SCS, which is an independent lab, and ULE is another one. And so just to give the example here, if a product is claiming to be biodegradable, you want an independent lab to actually make sure that, yes, it actually does biodegrade in normal commercial composting facilities. Same thing with recycled content or other types of claims that they're making that wouldn't be covered by a normal eco-label. And if you're wondering, well, gee, I'm really encouraged now to use some eco-labels, where can I find out more? We have a handout that we gave to you that has plenty of really common eco-labels. I know a lot of people are a little worried about the number of eco-labels that are out there. There are literally hundreds of them. But we've done, what we've done is we've compiled them into a pretty usable format for you that breaks down really any product you're going to buy. These are the ones that really should be guiding you in terms of these purchasing. We don't have food on there. That's one that has a lot of different eco-labels. That's the one that really kind of crowds the eco-label marketplace right now. But for other product categories, that should steer you in the right direction. We have a little description of what all those labels mean.